Assalamu alaikum and very good morning to all of you. We were listening to Dr. Abdullah Mamun as a very preamble of this discussion and kick-off discussion, and lot has been mentioned about stakeholder approach, the broader stakeholder approach, while we are aiming to get into a transition into a developing country. So I will start with two, not much ados though, two kind of preambles. One is that yes, when Mr. Harry K. Thomas, His Excellency, the US Ambassador to Bangladesh, returned back to Washington DC as the Executive Secretary in the State Office of Her Excellency Condoleezza Rice, the US Secretary of State, then I paid a visit to him at Washington DC. So he got me, and he was very aggressive with regard to championing Bangladesh's issue. As such, the issues of the LDCs like Bangladesh. So he introduced me with the people who were handling the USTR, US Trade Representative's Office. So I landed up with a lady who just returned from her assignment in the People's Republic of China in Beijing. So, and she was asking me, Mr. Rashid, tell me, who are your competitor while you are trying to increase your export to countries like United States of America or UK or Germany or as such Canada and other developed markets. So I told her that yes, obviously I'm sure you know through your research that yes, it is got to be countries like Vietnam, countries like Indonesia, countries like Philippines, countries like Egypt, countries like India, even countries like Pakistan. So she loudly told me, you are competing with each one of them except China. You are only second to China with regard to export of apparel into the United States of America market. So you are telling me that yes, you are competing and very proudly competing with all the countries that you have mentioned. And Mr. Rashid, incidentally, all these countries are developing countries. You are the only country which, according to us, according to our research, has been conveniently kept itself as an LDC. So a country which is happily competing with all other countries to make sure more and more made in Bangladesh is being welcomed into United States of America or as such similar markets. So Bangladesh was showing the potentials of a developing country much before, maybe through the private sector, maybe through the women workers, those who are working day and night to create excellence for made in Bangladesh, or to champion the kind of token that made in Bangladesh is meant for. And second example is that there was a team mission from World Bank, Washington DC during the last quarter of 2019. I'm very conscious that the lady sitting next to me, the esteemed lady, is nobody less than the World Bank Country Director, Mercy Tembon, and very important stakeholder in our journey towards, if you tell this thing excellence, or if you tell this thing graduation, at least graduation. So, and then when they came and when the team was going back, of course after hosted by Mercy herself, I guess, so they met, of course, several secretaries of the government of Bangladesh, senior secretaries, and the one person told me, you know, Mr. Rashid, your government, or this at least the secretaries, senior bureaucrats, they want to remain, they want to become a developing country because the Honorable Prime Minister wanted Bangladesh to become a developing country. So, but they want to enjoy all the benefits befitting to an LDC. So one of your very important secretary whispered into my ears that yes, we think you should, World Bank and others should continue with all the benefits, all the support that is due to a LDC, but since the Honorable Prime Minister wants that Bangladesh should become a developing country, so at least on the face of it, we should aim towards becoming a developing country. So ladies and gentlemen, I have spoken so much on this, but just to keep up the thing that yes, there is a, if I ask this set of people or the team of people present here, distinguished audience and participants, and more importantly, according to Dr. Abdullah Mamun, important stakeholders towards our journey to become a developing country. I'm sure many of us, deep into our hearts, even today, believe that yes, we want to enjoy all the benefit of an LDC. So I don't want to blame only our bureaucrats, but become a developing country. So this is not possible. Let's accept the reality. This is not possible. So we have to stand on our own feet, and this is the reality. What we have learned, also reiterated by Dr. Mamun, that yes, there will be at least issues with regard to duty-free, quota-free access to the developed markets for Bangladesh, made in Bangladesh products. And there will be issues with regard to aid disbursement, size and parameter of aid disbursement, especially towards the non-government sector, handling, and thereby directly or indirectly, because you know the country receives around 2% of its GDP as aid. So, and though there are a lot of issues with regard to aid effectiveness at the end of the day, but I will not get into that kind of discussion, but I want to arrest your attention towards that yes, there will be issues with regard to aid, and of course to support the massive development initiatives that we have undertaken and subsequent governments have undertaken with the support of the development partners, and of course active participation from the private sector, the growing countries, growing private sector. There will be issues with regard to that yes, how much we can borrow commercially from the international capital market, commercial marketplaces, and thereby so rates may go up, and that might warrant us and compel us to do some better homework inside, like improvement in governance, improvement in loanability, improvement in kind of balance sheet management, improvement in asset and liability management, and overall managing the corporate side of the business, and increasing corporatization included. And of course, because of this, aid might narrow down, shallow down, decrease or reduce. So there will be impact on in all the sector those are being supported by foreign aid or project aid, like education, like health. And today's newspaper carry a news that yes, almost 68% plus of the expenses, health expenses, is being borne by an individual as out-of-pocket expenses. So in this scenario, how do we really treadle our ship towards LDC graduation? So you know that already that there are very distinguished panel who will be focusing more articulately on our journey towards LDC graduation and towards a developing country with a smooth transition that Mr. Zillur Rahman, the Executive Director of Center for Governance Studies, has desired or shared with all of us. So to set the tone in order, I would like to request, and let me introduce all my distinguished and very esteemed panelists here. Of course, we do have Miss Marcy Miang Tembon. She is our guest of honor. We also have as a panelist Mr. Sheikh Shohidul Islam, former MP, former Education Minister of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, and now the Secretary General of Jatiyo Party. Ms. Selima Ahmed MP, President Bangladesh Women Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We have been talking a lot with regard to private sector engagement in our journey towards a developing country. So I'm sure Ms. Selima Ahmed will focus on that. Professor Habibe Millat, he is yet to join us. Professor Rashid Al Mahmoud Titumir, an avid researcher, Chairman, Department of Development Studies, Dhaka University, and Chairperson of Unnayan Anneshon. We also have Professor Dr. M.A. Aziz, Secretary General Sachib. We have talked about the health sector and the out-of-pocket expenses in the health sector, and especially our experience during COVID has been quite jittery, at least at the beginning, if not now. So I would expect that, yes, and we would all expect that while we are talking about our preparedness for smooth transition into a developing country, Mr. Aziz will also loudly join in. We also have Dr. Abu Yusuf, our very good friend, Executive Director, Rashid, a faculty member of University of Dhaka. We have Mr. Parvez Karim Abbasi, faculty member, Department of Economics, East West University. And so to set the motion in order, to set the tone right, so I would like to invite Professor Rashid Al Mahmoud Titumir to briefly focus on Bangladesh's preparedness for smooth transition into a developing country. Thank you.